You'd never believe the weather in Scotland was sometimes not very pleasant. God, for another week, another blue skies and sunshine. Lord Vader says, welcome back to Lead Hills. This is another beautiful day in the hills. You would not believe the weather here can be so bad, because every time I've been here for the last few weeks, as you guys have seen, it's been really good. This is the current ongoing task, is filling in these windows. So I think with a bit more scraping and stuff, they should be about ready for a bit of paint, and that'll be them done for, well, another year hopefully. That'd be nice. That one's looking okay. Let's go and look at the other one. That's cracked there a bit. That's still soft? Ah, right, okay, it's not dry yet. I did not know that. I thought it would have been dry by now. It isn't. I wonder if I could just slap paint over the top of that and ignore it. No, that's still really soft actually. I don't know. That's what I'm googling is required. That's all. Well, look at that. That's not what I was expecting, to be honest. What do you think? The abandoned trailer tent is still haunting me, but not as much as that. That is going to be a big job demolishing that shed and removing it, but we need the space, and it's not very pretty. But I suppose before I start anything else, I need to get changed into my work clothes and book a tip slot for tomorrow to try and start getting rid of some of that junk. But before I can do anything else, himself wants to go for a walk. He was quite insistent. The sun has well and truly got his hat on. I've got a good excuse for not doing that window up there at all, because there are birdies nesting in it. There's a little sparrow sitting outside on the television aerial. Hope you can see that. They are quite noisy, but it's nice to have them about. I was worried when I painted the window that I'd maybe scared them off because I didn't know they were there. So as soon as I found out they were there, I stopped. But it looks like they're quite happy. Oh wow, look at that. There's a baby sparrow. It's just been getting fed by one of its parents, and now it's sitting there chirping and like, oh, there we go. Well done, little dude. It turns out window putty can take weeks and weeks to actually set enough to paint, so I'm just going to leave that. I can get the rest of the windows done, the surrounds done, etc. So what I'm going to do now is load the van up with all the stuff, some of the stuff to go to the tip. I'm not going to fit it all in, but I'll make a start. You know the expression, watch this space? That is a reasonable van load of stuff for the first tip run. It's not even half of it, but it's a good chunk. How many of you guys are living in my eaves, by the way? That's about at least 2 little chicks. It's another cracking day in Lead Hills. Nice day for a spot of painting and weatherproofing, I think. So this bell was erected in 1770 to commemorate a guy called Stirling, and he was the man who really turned this place around. He was a mathematician, and he figured out that if he treated his workers better, they would get more out of them. So he encouraged them all to build strong stone cottages, and their underground time was limited to 6 hours per day, so they all got a bit more rest, a bit more health and safety, and the company made more money. He was quite a clever man. I like that wee cottage up the top of the hill there. I always think it looks so pretty. This one here in front of us is presently for sale for quite a lot of money. If you want to go onto the Remax website, you can see the inside of that one. That's kind of what we're aiming for ours, I think. It looks absolutely cracking. It's definitely a very pretty place on a bright sunny day, and you don't get many of those up here. Remember my whine about not being able to put UPVC windows in my house? Well, how many UPVC windows can you see on that row? I'm thinking all of them. One of the plants that seems to grow all over the place up here, and it's probably not edible because of all the lead in the ground, is rhubarb. That big green bush over there is rhubarb, and so's that one over there. Got lots of that on my little plot of land. It's a pity you can't do anything with it. Another pretty little row of houses. This village is not unattractive. I think Bex would quite like a house up here. This is Gin Row. Unfortunately, it's nothing to do with actual drinky gin. It's where the engine that powered a lot of the works used to be. I always love wandering these paths that dot through the village. They're everywhere, because obviously once upon a time you got about on foot, or if you're very lucky, on your horse, so this would have been enough. You didn't need a road. I'm pretty sure that I had a roof on it the last time I was up here. That's how quickly things can change. Oh wow, look, it's a cemetery. I had no idea that was there. Excuse me. I'll come back up here and do a places for the past episode, but do you mind if we just go and visit one old chap? When I say old, I'm not joking. This This is the one I brought you to see, exciting isn't it, with a greyhound for scale. This is the grave of John Taylor, if you believe all the stories, and why wouldn't you, died at the age of 137 years old. Apparently when he got to the age of 100 they left him outside his cottage because they thought that maybe God had forgotten him. And oh, look at that. Let's go and have a look at the big sticky up thing while we're here.
That big pointy thing is the Symington Memorial. It's to a guy called William Symington, and he was an inventor, and he invented some sort of steam engine that was used in ships. I don't actually know the details. That probably comes as no surprise to any of you. Anyway, back to the painting, I think.
After not being able to get any more of the paint I was using, I have now bought a big pot of this. It seems to be a bit thinner, but it's exterior paint, so we'll just have to see how it goes. And my masking tape has proven to be rubbish. It keeps falling off the wall, so I'm just going to paint close to that line but not up to it. Then I'll mask it and finish it off at a future point and give that a second coat as well. This paint definitely doesn't cover the white as well as the other stuff did though. That's a shame. Hello! And over here, more of the same. It will be nice one day to get all these windows replaced, because as you can see there, it is a bit fusty, but it'll do for another year or so till we can get caught up with the major battles and then come back for these. This is harder work than painting should be, but it's getting there. I think it's starting to look a wee bit better. Just need to get some proper masking tape for down the edges there to obviously finish it off. We have had a couple of people asking about breathing masks and lead in the paint. Well, breathing mask might be a good idea, but I do know that this paint that's under the white was only done in the 1970s. The house was painted dark red and brown for some reason. I cannot figure it out. Right, that's another shift of painting done. Now it's time to head down the Minnock Pass and go to my favourite place in the whole of Sankar. Yeah, it's time to go back to the tip. I've got the garden with some fledgling sparrows in it. They're not very good at flying yet though. They can hop a short distance. Go on guys, I hope there's no cats about. And after another brief sparrow-related delay, they were trying to teach the young one to fly, but it's not very good at it. It more sort of falls. It made it into a tree eventually, but I couldn't leave in case there was any cats about. I feel protective towards my wee birdies. It is another cracking day. I wonder how many camper vans are parked down the Minnock today. You come here on a day like this, it sounds like a suburb of Glasgow. Lots of people head south for a wee break in the countryside. What Lockhead? Scotland's highest village if you ask the people that live here. Scotland's second highest village if you ask the people that live in Lead Hills. Come on guys, out the way. Thank you very much. The problem with sheep is you never know if they're going to do something really stupid. Go on then, are you going to go left or you thought about it? No, go that way, do not go onto the road. I will not be sorry to see this thing going into the skip. So it also got all tangled up in the back of the van and I couldn't get out. Anybody any idea what that is? That looks like it was quite expensive. Goodbye first chunk of trailer tent. See if there's a double bed frame in here. I'm having it. There's not. But I have to take this home with me because apparently they can't take exposed foam. I've got to put it into bags or wrap it in polythene or something, I guess. And now I've got to go and sign the register for the wheels of that thing because tyres are registered apparently.
And on the way home, stop at the excellent Tanks Tubs in Sankar.
So there you go, that is lunch. There's still not really any cooking facilities in Lead Hills, so that's my excuse. And then I'm going to go and show you a really pretty bit of scenery. How about that for a plan?
This is the River Nith that flows all the way down to Dumfries and then onto the sea. Obviously, it's very pretty. The valley is a really nice drive. We'll be doing that one day soon, and you guys will be coming along with us. It's going to be quite nice if the weather is like this. If it's not, it won't.
I'm now going to take you up to a wee place called Minnock for a very brief look at something I think is quite interesting. Hopefully you will too. This wee row of houses here is the village of Minnock, and what we're about to see is all the more impressive when you look at the size of the place. And I know you're probably guessing what that is, but it's not actually what you think. Okay, it is a war memorial, but look at that, it's a really unusual one. The Weekly Dispatch magazine, the Bravest Village Awards, to the glorious honour of the Minnock village lads who answered Lord Kitchener's call. Lord Kitchener was the guy with the pointy finger. Your country needs you. 1914-18. And you've seen the size of this place, and there's quite a lot of names there. They fought in Britain's far spread battle line. But I suppose that's enough procrastination. Back in FE, back up the hill to load up another pile of bits of that old trailer tent. It's once we get that cleared, we can start thinking what we're going to do with the garden, but for now it's just a case of clearing junk. Right, back at the house, did a bit of droning over it while the weather was nice to get some of these photographs, and now it's time to load all of that, or as much of that as I can fit, into there. Not going back to the tip today, but at least then the van will be loaded. Or I might not be going back to the tip today, that plan might change. I'm going to need to bring the bigger saw to chop through those bits because they won't fit in the back of the van, because the back of the van now looks a bit like that. Some of it is really light and really flimsy, and other bits of it are absolutely solid.
And that was it for lentils for now. After another few days working down in Manchester, it was time to head back into Scotland and then off on our travels again.
This morning we are in Norway for reasons that anybody that has watched any of our episodes knows. It's a special day in Norway, which means an extra parkrun. But Bex now thinks that I'm leading her a merry dance because look what the route to the parkrun from the hotel takes you through. We're having a wee look round here a bit later on. The place where our hotel is to be frank, not great. The hotel, we'll show you it later, it's even more not great. But we're coming up through the old town, up a big hill. This looks much, much prettier. There's a nice church, 1900. The description of the walk to the parkrun does say there's quite a lot of uphill. I think I'm seeing what they mean, because this one goes on for miles, apparently, according to Google Maps. I've actually put Google Maps away because it's just too depressing.
I said, oh my goodness, this is extreme.
Isn't it just? Oh dear. Quite liking the wee wooden houses, not so much liking the great big hill. Oh wow, we're starting to see a bit of a view back that way. Bex has just said something very sensible. I was saying why it sort of look a bit deserted. Today is Ascension Day, a festival that I know nothing about, but this is it. And after a lot more up than we were actually anticipating, this is the park. It looks alright. And in front of us there's a big group of people. Guess what they are here for? Yeah, they are all here for parkrun, obviously. You think Scottish names are hard to pronounce? They are. We are at Ekebergparken, yeah, that one.
First up, as always, was the run director's briefing. Not sure how many people they were expecting here today, but it's quite a good turnout, most of whom appeared to be from the UK.
Bex, why do we do these things?
Because they enjoy them.
Oh, is that why? Okay, we enjoy them.
Not sure enjoy is the word that I would use, but hey ho, let's get it over with. At least it's only once a week, or actually this week it'll be twice.
So we are halfway round, and we've got to do it all again. After parkrun, obviously we don't do parkrun for the running because we both love running. We do it for the cafe afterwards, and this one looks a bit posh. It's got big columns outside. Let's go for a wee look and a coffee. Nice. Okay, let's hope they do bacon rolls, but this is foreign climes, so they may not. At least we know we're in the right place. She looks far too happy though. Decisions, I think I might have one of them. Cake. There's lots and lots of choice. This is a great cafe. What a really nice wee cafe. But now, unfortunately for you guys, we're going to go and look at some art. So if you don't like art, tough, you're coming. If you eat nettles, excuse me, if you eat nettles, do you want to come to lentils and eat all my nettles there? That would be most helpful. Can we get a nettle eating goat, Bex? Hello. Don't bite me. Don't bite me. Those are big fierce horns. You've got a cowbell on. Well, a goat bell, but that little black one over there is trying to talk to you, but he's got a sore throat. Well, apparently he's a little horse. Baboom! What do you mean, dearie me? That was hilarious. Oh, look, we've got the flag. It would have been a bit of a long drive. We could have brought the camper van because there's lots and lots of camper vans over there. But we're not here to look at camper vans. We are here to look at art. So are you ready for this? Oh, wow.
Oh dear.
Sorry, but there's Neolithic stone circles and stuff here. I did not know this was here, honestly.
Deep joy.
Right, let's go and look at the Neolithic stone circles, then we can go and find wine. Oh, Bex, come and look at this. There's an arrowhead made out of stone circles. That's it. Those are called cup marks. Sorry, I promised you art, and what you're getting is Neolithic stuff. But we'll have a quick look at the stone circle, and then we'll go and find some art, which is apparently hidden somewhere in this forest. To be honest, I don't think that Stonehenge has got much to be worried about. Callanish or the standing stones of Stennis, equally not worried. I know what all you clever people are thinking. You're looking at this thinking, that looks like a ship steading, some sort of Neolithic burial. You're absolutely right. I mean, you people are so clever. Yeah, I had no idea either, but we just read it on that sign over there. Yay! And after wandering about for longer than I want to admit, we've found some art. Look, it's art. We've found some actual art, and lots of parkrun people walking about looking for art. This one is called, believe it or not, Walking Woman, and it's from 2010. That's that one. That one over there, that's Bex. She's going to now go to stand beside the Walking Woman in the Walking Woman pose for the purposes of YouTube stardom.
Hold her hand.
Hold her hand. Oh, what nice. Looks like a stern parent and you look like a stroppy child. I'm not sure, but I think she's had some work done. Now, I must admit, I saw this on Google Maps and was not expecting much because it's daylight. This is called fairy lights, and even in the daytime, well, I don't know if you can see it from there, but we can see it from here. This is quite pretty. You'll get a closer look in a minute, obviously. That is a great example of something that sounds like it's not going to be very interesting and turns out to be absolutely gorgeous. Hopefully you can hear the music in the background. In fact, I'll shut up, then you can definitely hear the music in the background and the people talking. This is so nice. Here's some music. I said that and the music stopped. It goes through phases that tie in with the lights, I think. That is really, really nice. And because we're not in the UK, it hasn't all been vandalised and ripped down. It's love it. What a nice wee park. Oh, it's all changed. It's gone a bit red. This one is called Ekebergparken de Saint Fall or something like that. I'm not quite sure. There's a man hanging onto a big bird with spikes on its wings. That's interesting, I think's the word. There's people over there trying to persuade their little dog to go for a swim. Their little dog is absolutely not keen. So that over there is the dome, and there's a warning sign over here that says climbing and throwing objects into the dome is strictly prohibited. There are people inside. I assume it means it's the roof of a building, not they're actually in that bit. I'm guessing that's the doorway, so there's no people inside today. Next up, that looks like a woman having a pee to me. This one is called that, and it is actually a woman having a pee. I was going to be unkind and say there's a woman having a pee, but she's actually she's not looking very happy about it. Bex has just noticed that I can't get it because she's not doing it now, but the statue actually pees. Ew, that's not art. That's just manky mare. Go.
That's probably the most bizarre piece of art I've ever seen.
It's what, you never seen a statue of a woman peeing that actually pees?
No.
10 out of 10 for realism.
Absolutely.
Oh, along here there is another statue, hopefully not urinating in public. It's a lady. It is a lady. Yes, it's got boobs. It's a lady lying on its side. Just these statues are nothing if not thought-provoking and discussion-provoking, and in the case of the peeing lady, ew-provoking. Only 2 out of 10 for originality of the title though. Reclining Woman. Hello, reclining woman with your boobs. That's pretty cool. Ignore the people. That's a rotating sculpture for reasons that you can see. There's a guy there pushing it. That is quite clever. And it is called Ace of Diamonds, apparently, according to a sign we read back there. We're reading quite a lot of signs on this trip, and thankfully they're all in English. But that's a really cool sculpture, isn't it? It's shiny. I've seen a lot of these little birdies. There's some sort of thrush, but I've not seen that sort of thing before. So they are thrush and Ace of Diamonds. That is an artistic study by me. Scotland on a shoestring, Nordic botany. These are called little purple ones in Norwegian. Apologies to anyone from Norway that I've just offended with that accent. We've been told what we must do is go to this viewpoint and look at the view, which is kind of what you do at a viewpoint. There's some strange perspective thing going on that statue because it looks three-dimensional. You get to the side and it actually sort of stands out in 3 dimensions in spite of the fact that it's mostly not. It's mostly pretty flat. That's lovely. That is. I do like a bit of clever optics, and that's quite clever. Well, we've come all this way. We might as well look at the view. There's a tree in the way. Oh wow! Look, railway station. That's amazing. Let's have a panorama. Should we do a panorama? Yeah. There's the main road, and look at the houses that have been built down in the docks. That's really nice. What a pretty place. You get a nice view of Chloe from back here, because as you can see there, she looks three-dimensional, and as you get round, she looks less and less normal. She's actually quite thin, but yeah, very clever.
A lot of the statues in this park are really nice and really pretty. This is Judith, who has got a, yeah, that's Judith there anyway, so draw your own conclusions. Look at the hieroglyphs on this video wall. Isn't that impressive? I can only show you the hieroglyphs because down there there's a naked lady with a hammer, and at the other end that I'm not going to show you because it gets kicked off YouTube, there is a naked lady with a flag. I have no idea what the significance of the naked lady with the flag is. In the middle there's somebody talking. Oh good, she's covered herself up.